Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today, we need to talk about some news which, quite frankly, I wasn't really expecting, and I'm not sure most of you were either. So let's start off with some new products. And I say that with a little bit of trepidation because they're kind of new and they're kind of not. You see, if I show these to you, we've got a Lucario V-Star box, and we've got a Cleaver V-Star box, or Special Collection as they're actually called. And if I show them to you, one of your first reactions is going to be, hang on a second, Wassy, I'm not falling for that. These aren't new. We've seen them before. And then you look a little bit closer and you're like, oh, these are new. We haven't seen them before. Now, I think the main thing to point out here is that these are called special collections. These are not called premium collections. And that's basically where the difference lies here. So if we take Lucario, we've actually had 3 different versions now of this same product. So we know that there was a different box released in the US or in North America and in Europe, and this is a standard kind of thing. They tend to be a little bit different. So the US boxes, for what it's worth, do tend to be better. I do tend to believe that is because you've got extra costs associated with releasing them in Europe, because you've got to ship stuff over, etc., etc. It's why Europe tends to get proportionally slightly more expensive products, but it's fine, it's not a big deal. But if we have a little bit of a look, we've got the American version on the left. That features 6 packs, the promos, and then you've got the coin and pin badge. And then on the right, you've got the European product, which is largely the same, but there's 5 packs rather than 6. And although you get the pin, you don't get the coin. I know. And Lucario, of course, quite popular at the moment because the V-Star, which is in these products, which, remember, was never really in a set per se, it was in these boxes. You'll notice, of course, that there was also the Crown Zenith Elite Trainer box, which featured the special art rare of this same Lucario V-Star. So, okay, fine, this all makes perfect sense. That's rather lovely. So what is this new product by comparison? Well, it's kind of the same, but it's a cheaper version thereof. You're still getting the promos, which is, of course, the big thing here, yeah? The promos are still the most important thing of this. But now it looks like you're getting 4 packs, and you're getting neither the badge nor the coin. And essentially what this does is just bring down the price. You're still getting the lovely full art of Lucario V. You're still getting Lucario V-Star. You're still getting the jumbo version of Lucario V-Star. The big difference here is that you're getting 4 packs, which is a lower amount of packs, and you're not getting the badge or the coin. The thing is, there are going to be a bunch of people out there that don't care about the coin or the badge. And you'll notice that the pack selection here is a little bit more recent. We got some Lost Origin at the front there. So we've got a slightly newer pack selection. And this is good. And I like this. And here's the thing, right? With products like this, you can look at this and go, well, I bought them ages. And incidentally, I did. I bought the Lucario one a while ago. It came out around about the time of EUIC last year. There was a weird thing that it was going to be legal for the European International Championships, but not everyone had been able to get hold of it. Turned out to not be that great as a card, and it turned out fine, all right? Turned out just fine. But my point here is people like me have bought this already and don't care. And that's fine. But there are plenty of other people who do care. And my point is, it's for them. And that, I think, is kind of awesome. If you want a cheaper product, which is going to have these things, that is cool. And if you don't, that is also cool. Now, I did say there was a Cleave one here, but we don't need to spend much time because it's the same kind of deal. So here's what we had originally, both the North American and European versions. Once again, the North American version had 6 packs, badge and coin. The European had 5 packs and a badge, but no coin. And here we've got the same kind of thing. The new version has 4 packs, all the promos, and a V-Star marker for what it's worth. But for pretty obvious reasons, Pokemon do tend to put V-Star markers in products that give you a V-Star, so that you've got a V-Star marker that you can actually use when, playing the game. So whether you like them or not, it doesn't really matter. It's not really important. What is important is that it's another way for people to get hold of cards. It's another product, and I love this, and I love that they're doing this, because some people might not be able to find the Lucario V-Star box anymore. Some people might not have wanted to buy the more expensive version, and this is just brilliant all the way round. Although for what it's worth, in the UK at least, this V-Star Lucario box is still very, very readily available, still very easy to get hold of, as is the Cleaver V-Star box, which is lovely. But if you want to see something properly new, might I show you these new prize cards? Now, depending on how good you are at telling apart different European languages, you may have looked at these and immediately noticed they are Korean. Yay! Korean characters, of course, very different to other languages. The awkward ones can be Chinese and Japanese to tell apart, because Chinese just uses kanji, but Japanese has a katakana and hiragana there as well. It can all get very confusing. Let's worry about that a different way. Of course, even if you're not particularly good at telling apart the different characters of different Asian languages, you might have noticed there is a giant stamp behind the text of the card that reads Korean League 2023, which might have been a little bit of a giveaway. Now, this is kind of amazing. You see the bronze card here. I'm assuming that is for the 3rd place finisher. That features Pikachu and a bronze crown. It's lovely. Incidentally, if we follow like in Japan, which is very likely, although this is the 3rd place finisher, this will be far and away the most popular and valuable of the trophy cards, because it's got Pikachu on. And that's incidentally the case over in Japan, where they have these trophy cards. The 3rd place tends to have Pikachu on, so even though it's the 3rd place, that is the one that everybody is after. So here's a Japanese trophy card from 2022, which you'll notice is extremely similar. And oh look, it's a 3rd place one, and it's got Pikachu. And I've checked with the lovely Antoine Boulet, who has one of these 3rd place cards. And yeah, the Pikachu is by far the most popular of them. And the good news is, I cannot read Korean for the life of me. That's not good news. But the good news is, because we've got the Japanese version of the card, I can read it and tell you that it lets you get 2 basic energy cards from your trash, show them to your opponent, and put them into your hand. And actually, we can see that the Japanese version literally says 3rd place. But you'll notice in the Korean card here, there's a 4, which presumably means top 4. That would make sense to me. So maybe you get this a 3rd and 4th place. Still going to be the best of them. Now, if you finish in 2nd place, I believe this says kind of finalist at the bottom, you get the Silver Crown with the first partner Galarian Pokemon. And if anybody's wondering why we're using the Galar Pokemon, not the Paldea Pokemon, the reason is extremely simple. Yes, Gen 9 is out, but as I've shown you, what we're doing here is literally taking the designs of cards that actually came out in Japan in the 2020 season. And it's as simple as that. Were these brand new cards that were designed now, it is very, very likely that what we would actually be seeing here is the Paldean Pokemon. That would make perfect sense. That would work. But of course, these aren't newly designed cards. These are old cards that came out in Japan a couple of years ago that we're now getting for the first time in Korea. Hence why it seems like they're using last gen's Pokemon, because they are, but there's a very good reason why they're doing that. And then the first place features your Zacian and Zamazenta with the crown. Again, exactly the same explanation as a moment ago. yes, it would, well, make way more sense for these to feature Koraidon and Miraidon, but of course that wouldn't actually make any sense because we're taking older Japanese trophy cards, and that's what really matters, ladies and gentlemen. That's what really matters. So yeah, these are very, very cool. And I said unexpected at the beginning of the video because I didn't expect to see Korean versions of 2-year-old Japanese trophy cards, but here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are. Another thing I did not expect to see was the Gummies. Now, I did an opening of these Gummies a little while ago. Shall we say it wasn't terribly popular. But what is interesting here is that they're happening for Triple Beat. These are where you get some Gummies and one card. They're kind of cool. I like them. I'm fans. Here's the thing, though. And this is what I find very, very interesting. They've never done these before for a mini set. They do them for main sets. They've been doing them for main sets for a while, and I showed you that they were getting them for Scarlet and Violet, and that was really interesting, because of course we're moving into a new block, and if they're going to stop doing stuff like this, it would make sense that they would stop them as we were going into a new block. So that makes perfect sense. But they don't do them for mini sets. They've never done them for mini sets. So the idea that they're now back and they're doing them for mini sets is kind of amazing, honestly. And I love this. And a lot of you, I mean, look, I think it's fair to say a lot of you don't really care. And not in a mean way, because they only sell these over in Japan, and there are a couple of cards that are available that are a bit more fun. There are actually 3 EXs that are available. But the fact of the matter is, these are products that I know a lot of people, we're popping them on the end here as a nice little story, and I might pick these up, but I know that not all of you are going to want to. But the fact that they're coming out for mini sets when they've only ever come out as main sets before, that's a pretty big deal. As a side note, you can get 16 common, 4 uncommon, and 3 EXs. But now one of them is confirmed as Meowscarada, because it literally says it on the front of, well, you can see the image. But come on, we all know that it's Quaquaval, Skeledirge, and Meowscarada that are featured on the booster pack for Triple Beat. And it's almost always 2 special cards, Vs, V-Stars, EXs, called, whatever they might be. Like, that's always what it is. So the fact that there are now 3 EXs available, when the Gummy set is based around a set with 3 Pokemon, kind of front and center, all of which have EXs. I mean, come on, ladies and gentlemen. I cannot be the only one that thinks that's a bit too convenient. So there we go. We got a new type of product. It isn't really a new type of product, but it is actually a new type of product, and it's going to be good for some people. And then we've also got some ridiculously awesome prize cards that do seem a little bit out of date, and some Gummies that are coming for a mini set for the first time. And I think it's fair to say that this news was not terribly expected, but I am a bit of a fan. But now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to know what you think about this. I want to know how excited you are. I want to know anything you want to tell me. So let me know in the comment section. Go nuts. Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk Pokemon and card games and Pokemon card games, all kinds of fun things. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, all kinds of fun things. Oh yeah, and you can get shout-outs on the channel, like the lovely Austin Montville, who is one of our newer Patreons and does seem to be a very lovely person. So thank you very much for the support, and for being a lovely person. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.